Steve Jobs may have been the face of Apple, but there were many CEOs that came before him. So here are 5 Apple CEOs you didn't know existed. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple in 1976, they couldn't be trusted to run the company since they were so young. So Mike Markkula, Apple's first financial backer, brought in a CEO to do the management tasks needed to keep the company running. His choice for CEO was Michael Scott, who had previously worked with him at Fairchild. Scott was the 5th employee to ever join Apple and served as Apple's CEO from 1997 through 1981. Scott steered Apple through a period of tremendous growth, with the wildly popular Apple II being released in June of 1977. He was also reportedly behind a 1979 ban on all typewriters within Apple headquarters. One interesting story about Scott is when he fired upwards of half of the Apple II team in early 1981, a day that was referred to as Black Wednesday within the company. Scott explained his rationale by claiming the company had grown much too fast over the previous year or so and had made a few key bad hires, who themselves had hired even worse people. He thought the Apple II division had become too complacent and that Apple had lost the startup hustle that was the basis of their success. He helped take Apple public in 1980 and left the company shortly after. In 1977, Mike Markkula became an investor in Apple, providing it with $80,000 as an equity investment in the company and $170,000 as a loan. He also became Apple's 3rd employee. Markkula took over as CEO in 1981 when Michael Scott left the company. He served as a kind of temporary CEO until 2 years later when Steve Jobs successfully recruited John Sculley for the position. Markkula helped market the first 2 Apple computers, providing the company with credit and venture capital. He originally said that he would remain at Apple for 4 years, but stayed longer, serving as chairman from 1985 until 1997, when a new board was formed after Jobs returned to the company. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak reportedly credits Markkula for the success of Apple more than himself, despite the fact Wozniak single-handedly built the company's first 2 computers. Formerly CEO of Pepsi, John Sculley was brought to Apple for his marketing skills to help the company sell computers. Sculley is known for his disagreements with Steve Jobs, who in 1985 began to lose control of his teams, leading Sculley and other top executives to strip him of all operational responsibilities. However, his strategy as CEO saw Apple incur in high engineering, manufacturing, and marketing costs, with its products causing market confusion. The Macintosh product lineup became fragmented and he made the decision to utilize PowerPC chips, later admitting he should have gone with the more popular Intel processors. Arguably, his biggest failure was the Newton Message Pad, a product criticized for containing underdeveloped technology and unpolished software. After a bad first quarter in 1993 due to a personal computer price war and internal tension over the company's direction, Apple's board forced Sculley out. Nicknamed the Diesel, Michael Spindler worked his way up through the ranks in Apple's European operations, becoming Apple Europe's president and replacing John Sculley as CEO in 1993. Spindler was a brilliant strategist, which won him attention both inside Apple and in the outside world. Spindler's first major act as CEO was to push through a radical reorganization. Over 2,500 jobs were cut, almost 15% of the workforce, and the company was totally restructured. Instead of lumping all product development in one division, the company would now be grouped by market. The only remnant of the old Apple was AppleSoft, which was responsible for operating system development. This flattened structure dissipated the political standing of any individual head of product development, formerly the most powerful division at Apple. Spindler's biggest humiliation occurred at an annual shareholder meeting, usually an opportunity for the company to talk up new products and initiatives, but the one held on January 23rd was not celebratory. Spindler was drilled by aggressive shareholders for Apple's financial results. For the entire meeting, Spindler sat pale-faced and offered meek defenses for his performance, although he did acknowledge that many of the problems Apple faced were because of him. Mike Markkula, the company's chairman, fired Michael Spindler shortly thereafter. Emilio was CEO during the dark days of Apple, and he had the shortest tenure of any Apple CEO. Emilio helped to overturn the company's low-quality products and introduced Mac OS 8. He allowed licensing of the operating system to Mac clone hardware manufacturers, which were intruding on Apple's market share instead of bringing new customers to the platform. Emilio also bought Steve Jobs' competing computer company Next for $429 million. This brought Jobs back into the company, serving as head of their new operating system division. Within a year, Apple's stock slumped to a 12-year low. In a 1997 boardroom coup, Jobs convinced the board that Emilio was not the man for the job, leading to Emilio losing his position. Steve Jobs was named interim CEO before taking the official CEO position in 2000.